It's hard to not look at you while you answer me questions. Just, what do you, so I can't even glance at you, no?
I think people assume amputee football is probably a little bit slow-paced and just kind of almost going through the motions at times, but when you see it, it's quite an impactful sport.
As a squad, each sort of player's gone through a bit of a hard time, whether it's sort of early on or later on in their lives through their amputation.
So I was 24 when I had my accident.
You know, I was 13 when I lost my leg.
I was 9 months.
I was 20 years old.
In the army at the time, and it was just simply a motorbike accident.
I got diagnosed with bone cancer, and my biggest worry at that point was not being able to play football again.
I was born with a shorter leg, and I actually was born with 3 toes.
I was a kid, you know, so obviously it was a challenge, but when you're a kid, you know, you like these challenges. Whether you play football with 1 leg or 2 legs, you know, that's the beauty of football. You know, football don't discriminate.
The players have gone through a lot of adversity in their lives, but when they come to the England camps, where they're representing England, they're treated like any other professional athlete. The expectation and demand doesn't change at all.
Volunteers are the heart and soul of this organisation.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Everyone is volunteers here.
Every penny goes into the running of the organisation. The growth of the sport, the fundamental basic is we need more money to develop the game. You go to countries where the investment has been, so now if we're looking at Turkey, who are fully professional, have 3-tier division. Poland have really raised the standard, and we've helped these teams and countries establish themselves, yet we've not managed to produce this at home.
We always compare it to the female pathway in terms of female football and how that's progressed significantly over the recent years. And I would like disability sport, personally speaking, to follow a very similar trajectory. And in order to do that, we need to continue to develop the sport that we're trying to do.
Like most people, I've got a job away from football.
I work at JD at Manchester Airport.
I don't have a life outside of football.
I work in a care home doing maintenance.
I run the charity on a day-to-day basis.
This summer I've started working with Everton in the community.
Most of them's not heard of it before, so obviously when I rocked up and I was started, you know, blagging about amputee football and stuff, I was well impressed. Spend half the time showing them videos on the goals and obviously the football when I actually do working, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of us that have sort of other commitments away from football, and that's what sort of makes it so special that we've got this programme.
I've had lots of great experiences, but obviously the one that stands out the most, I would say, is 2017 European Championships in Turkey.
Reached the final in front of 40,000 people.
To go into that cauldron of atmosphere similar to what you'd experience in a top European night.
It's kind of where you want to be, really. It's where you think the sport should be.
Unfortunately, the result weren't what we wanted. We got beat 2-1.
Barış ceza alanına baktı. Barış geriye. Osman! 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 Osman Çakmak gol!
But just the experience, you know, it's what you dream of when you're a kid playing in front of that many fans. But that's by far the best experience at the minute. But I'm hoping to top that, hopefully, this World Cup.
Can we win the World Cup? You've got to believe you can.
It's exciting, and I get a little bit nervous knowing that we could face the Turkish side and there could be 40,000+ people watching.
The most people have played in front of is probably a couple of hundred, so the noise and the atmosphere is going to be something that we're not used to.
You could argue the lads are good enough to go out there and do it, which I believe they can, but we'll give it a shot.
It's an opportunity to raise awareness for the team and for the sport.
Obviously, we look at Turkey and be like, oh, we want to be like them in the sense of, you know, how big it is in Turkey. It'd be great for it to be as big as in England as it is in Turkey, for sure. And we'll have the support they do. It's everyone's dream, you know, for that to happen. So obviously we do look at Turkey and be like, yeah, definitely are role models in amputee football.
We want to go there, we of course want to go and win the World Cup like any team would want to do in that situation, but our goal and our aim is much bigger and greater than that.
It sort of sets a standard for the rest of the world that there should be a lot of people watching the sport, because it's really exciting to watch, and I think if we get that sort of following as a country, it'd be really important sort of going forward.